All right, today we're cracking open the fascinating and, let's be honest, often misunderstood world of ethical hacking. This is a field where breaking the rules isn't just allowed, it's actually essential for building stronger defenses for all of us. So let's dive right in.
So let me just ask you this straight up. Can breaking into a computer system ever be a force for good? It sounds like a total contradiction, doesn't it? But believe it or not, the answer is a huge yes. And it's the very foundation of a critical job in cybersecurity. And that brings us to what ethical hacking actually is. This isn't some random chaotic attack. It's a planned, controlled, and, this is the magic word, authorized simulation of a real cyber attack. The best analogy I've ever heard is this. You wouldn't build a massive bank vault and just hope it's secure, right? No way. You'd hire the best safecracker you could find to test it. An ethical hacker is that digital locksmith, hired to find all the flaws before a real burglar comes knocking.
Now, here's the crazy part. The tools, the techniques, the methods, they can be exactly the same. So what separates the hero from the villain in this story? It really just comes down to one thing: intent. A white hat hacker, our hero, has permission. Their mission is to protect, to find the weak spots and report them so they can be fixed. A black hat hacker, on the other hand, is the villain. They act maliciously, using those exact same flaws to steal data, cause chaos, or make a quick buck. It really is that classic good versus evil story, just played out with lines of code.
Okay, so how does one of these controlled hacks actually go down? You've got to forget the movie stereotype of a person in a dark hoodie furiously typing at a keyboard. That's not it at all. This is a systematic process. It's a mission that follows a playbook, almost like a digital detective working a case.
And every single one of these investigations follows a kind of script. First up is reconnaissance. That's just a fancy word for gathering clues, mapping out the target's digital footprint online. Then comes the more active part, scanning and exploitation. This is where they're actively looking for weak spots and then testing them to get access. After that, they try to maintain access, just to prove how deep a real attacker could get. But for an ethical hacker, the most critical phase, the whole point of the exercise, is reporting. This is where they deliver the blueprint that shows the company exactly how to build a stronger, better defense. So, we've covered the what and the why. Now let's get into the fun part, the how. An ethical hacker's success really depends on their strategy and, of course, having the right tools for the job. You know, not all tests are the same. It depends on what you're trying to simulate. For example, in a black box test, the hacker starts with absolutely nothing, zero inside knowledge. It's the perfect way to simulate an attack from a total stranger on the internet. Then you have the complete opposite, a white box test. Here, they're given everything, source code, diagrams, the whole shebang, so they can perform a really deep internal audit. And smack in the middle is the gray box test. They get a little bit of information, which is perfect for simulating an insider threat, like a disgruntled employee.
Now, check this out. This is the Digital Locksmith's Toolkit. It's got everything from network mappers like Nmap to password crackers like John the Ripper. And I'm going to say it again because it's so important. These are the exact same powerful tools a malicious hacker would be using. The only difference is the person wielding them has permission and the intent to protect, not to cause harm.
And that brings us to what is, without a doubt, the most important point. The line between being a security professional and being a criminal is razor thin. It is defined entirely by one thing: playing by the rules. I really want you to let this sink in. Everything we've talked about, all the skills, all the tools, all the techniques, is totally illegal. We're talking a federal crime in many countries. Without this one single document, explicit, written permission from the owner of the system you are testing. That's it. That piece of paper is the non-negotiable golden rule of this profession. It's what makes it all possible. And beyond that golden rule, ethical hackers live by a very strict code. They have to stay in scope, which means only testing systems they've been cleared to test and nothing else. They have to ensure confidentiality, so whatever they find is kept top secret. And, crucially, they operate under a do-no-harm directive. The goal is to test, not to accidentally break things. This whole framework is what builds the trust that makes their work possible. So, if you're someone who can play by those rules, What does a career on the digital frontline actually look like? Because this isn't just some niche hobby. It's a critical and really rapidly growing profession. Having these skills opens up so many doors. The most direct path, of course, is becoming a penetration tester, or a pen tester for short. But those same abilities are vital for security analysts who monitor for threats, and for security architects who design secure systems from the ground up. The point is, this core skill set is in super high demand across the entire tech industry. And because this job requires an incredible amount of trust, proving your expertise is everything. That's where industry standard certifications become so important. You've got things like the Certified Ethical Hacker, or CEH, which proves you know the concepts. And then there are the notoriously difficult ones like the OSCP, which is a hands-on exam that proves you can actually apply that knowledge under pressure. These credentials show you don't just have the skills, but also the professionalism to be trusted with a company's digital keys.
So we end up right back where we began, with a big question. In a world that is completely built on code, our economies, our social lives, our infrastructure, are ethical hackers the new guardians at the gate? Are they the ones using the tools of the attacker to become our most unconventional and maybe most important defenders? It's definitely something to think about. Thanks for joining me on this explainer.